Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Joe Somebody Show, the show on the internet that now has reduced sodium. Very healthy show. On my Facebook page, I ask what you might want me to make a video about, because I don't know, and then I ask you, and then you told me stuff. Are you looking at my beard? Stop looking at my beard and pay attention. Ow! Stacy Breland, you said that you want me to talk about passports, and I hate passports. I don't hate them. I mean, I need to get one because, you know, I go on cruises and I leave the country. But let me give you a long story short and then point you in the right direction. Long story short, I've been on 6 cruises. I've been to multiple countries, including Honduras and Belize and Mexico and the Bahamas and all over the place, and I've never had a passport. You don't have to have one. People will argue me till they're blue in the face or blue in the fingers because they're usually typing. And they'll tell me that you absolutely are required to have a passport to take a cruise. They won't even let you board the ship without one, I've been told. They won't let you get off the ship when you get to a foreign country, I've been told. Hello? I've been on 6 cruises. I've never had a passport. I'm just saying. According to the U.S. Department of State, it is not a requirement to have a passport if you're taking a closed-loop cruise. That means if you're leaving from and returning to a U.S. port, then you don't have to have one. But it is in your best interest to always travel with a passport if you're leaving the country, because Lord forbid if something goes wrong while you're on your cruise or while you're in one of these foreign countries and you need a flight back into the U.S., then you're not going to be able to do that without a passport. So you're going to have to go to the U.S. Embassy and all that kind of stuff. And that's just how it is. That's my knowledge of the passports. If you want a more, I'm itching. Look at this itchy beard. If you want more information about passports, I wrote up a thing about it on realcruisers.com. Go under the first time cruisers section, and then there's an article. I'm actually looking on my computer right now. Do I need a travel agent to book a cruise? And I actually made a video about that already. And I forgot, because that's how many videos I've made in my lifetime. So there's a video also on realcruisers.com to go along with that same article. Go there, read it, learn about it. If you can afford it or if you have time to get one, get one. It's in your best interest to do so, trust me. But you don't have to have one, trust me. Brian Bell said he'd basically like to see my workflow, you know, for making videos. Why? I would be more than happy to show you my workflow for making videos, Brian. I really would. Except for, like, you know, I think it'd be really boring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a quick and dirty synopsis of how I make videos, and if you need a more thorough tutorial, then maybe I'll make one of those. You just gotta let me know, buddy. The first thing I do to make a video is use my camera to film stuff. Just an FYI, some of these things may seem very obvious. I have 2 different cameras that I use to make videos. The first one is the one that I'm using right now, which is a Canon T3i digital SLR camera. And I also have a GoPro Hero 3 Plus Black Edition. Man, that's a mouthful. But those are the 2 cameras that I use to film. Both of them film in HD, and it's weird that we call it film even though I'm not actually using any film in the cameras. Those are the cameras that I use to record, not film, and I like to try to set them up, you know, kind of a specific way. For my Canon T3i, of course, I want to be filming in the highest resolution possible, which is 1080p, and I want to use 30 frames per second because I know that I'm going to put it on YouTube. For my GoPro, I usually film with it in 1080p also at 30 frames per second, but then it also has a field of view, which I normally set to super wide or whatever they call it, because I like everything to be wide when I'm doing a cruise video at least, because, you know, you want to see as much as possible. That gives you a good view of what's around you. I record all of it using Class 10 SD cards and transfer it to my computer. I import it into my video editing software, and I kind of just go through it. I scrub through everything that I filmed, the entire vacation or the entire, you know, whatever I was filming, and I take just the pieces that I think are good, usable footage, and I drop them down into my timeline, you know, into my master project. So once I've done all that, then I've kind of weeded out the boring parts, or the parts that are shaky, or the you know, that are out of focus, or whatever the problem may have been with that. I've weeded all that out, so my timeline is just full of just random video clips at that point that are good, usable video clips. From that point, I try to arrange these video clips into a sequence that makes some sort of sense. Like if I'm going to do a cruise video, I try to look at the clips that I've got and say, okay, should I break this down into day 1, day 2, day 3, and so on? Or should I break this down into about the ship, about the ports of call, you know, that sort of stuff. And I do that after I've scrubbed through all of it and selected the best stuff, or the stuff that I want to use, because then I know the best way to arrange them. You don't really know how to arrange them, you know. If for some reason you messed up all of the footage of the ship, then you don't want to have a section about the ship that's got one little clip in it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So after all of the arranging has happened, I kind of go back and watch my whole timeline in its entirety to see, you know, is there anything that's missing or whatever, and I start kind of writing a script. That was one hell of a hiccup. I use the term script really, really loosely. I'm talking like loosey-goosey, because I don't stick to it. I just kind of do like a bulleted list or something of, you know, what I want to talk about. And that way, whenever I'm recording this part, where I'm sitting at my house telling you what you're fixing to see, I can just look at my little bullet points and I can say, okay, and then the next clip is this, or I can actually watch it on the computer and kind of mentally prepare, you know, what all I need to say about it. So I record all of those clips of me introducing the next clips and the intro to the video and the thank you for watching at the end, and I record all of those things and I drop them into their corresponding place in the timeline. Then, after everything is laid out in a very beautiful timeline of wonderful magic, I go through and try to find some good royalty-free music that I can use that's kind of Caribbean, cruisy, vacation-y, relaxy, you know, something that seems like it fits the video. You can find royalty-free music on the internet. Just use the powers of the Google, and you can find some stuff that you can use for free. Just make sure you're not using copyrighted music, and I can't stress that enough. I can't tell you how many times I've seen you guys make excellent videos and put them on YouTube, but you used copyrighted music. And I don't know if you know this, but you can make money off of your YouTube videos. But if you've put something in your video that's copyrighted, YouTube picks up on that and they actually disable that video from being allowed to be monetized, or they'll disable the audio completely, or they'll monetize it with ads, but then whoever owns the copyright to the music gets the money. So use royalty-free music, and you can have the monies. So I try to find the music that fits, and I drag it into my timeline, and you know, take out some audio of the original clip. If I'm filming outside, there may be a lot of wind noise and stuff like that. So you can use your video editor to take the audio out of that clip, and you might want to fade. A lot of times I like to fade my music volume down so that I can talk. And once the clip of my voice stops, then I can fade my music back up and just kind of keep a nice even flow to it. And you can trim your music, you know, to fit better. 1 second, I have a text. Okay, so once you've got your clips all organized and, you know, you've got your introduction pieces and stuff, you got your music on there, you may want to go back and throw a little bit of text, you know, just descriptions of what things are. You know, you can do little text effects in your video editor, and that's basically it. Export your video, upload it to YouTube. YouTube's going to squash it down a little bit more, and it's going to lose quality. So you know, you don't want to compress your video too much, because then they're going to compress it again. So you want to leave it basically in the way it came out of the camera, but make sure that it's already in the frame rate that YouTube wants. And that's a lot of jargon that you probably don't understand, so good luck. My editor of choice is Final Cut Pro 10. iMovie's pretty similar if you edit with iMovie, or, you know, they're all fairly similar. You might have to look up stuff that is, you know, if you get stuck and you want to learn how to do something, Google it or look it up on YouTube. There's tons of tutorials. That's how I learned. I didn't have any training. I'm self-taught. It takes me a pretty good amount of time to do all of that, because I usually have like 60 gigs of HD footage that I've got to look through and pick out the best clips and show you as much as possible. I don't like to not use things. Like if I film something for some reason, I want to use it. Even if I just trim through it and take out one little part of it, I usually try to use every clip that I filmed and show you as much content as I possibly can, because you guys seem to really like cruises. So by the time you go through all of the clips and you trim everything down and you organize them and you pick the music and you lay the music in and you put in, you know, record other parts, the introduction parts, and you do some text, and you know, you do all of that stuff, and then you got to export it and wait for it to export. And then if you have slow internet, that's one of the reasons why I started trimming them down to like 4-part videos that are like 10 minutes each or whatever, instead of one 40-minute video. But you know, you're at the mercy of your slow DSL to upload these HD videos, and that kind of sucks. So, you know, it takes a while. Daniel Hale, you said that you wanted to hear my wife talk about my videos. You said, let's have your wife talk about you and your videos and why she thinks you do them and what her take is on them. Wow. Daniel, here's the sad truth. My wife hates YouTube. I've been doing this for 4 years or so, and I've been driving her insane because I'm insane and I stress about YouTube because, you know, at first I was like, I gotta have all this equipment, I gotta buy expensive cameras and expensive computers, and, you know, I spend all of my time making things. And then I started stressing about the fact that, oh, I need to build an audience, you know, I don't have enough people watching my videos, why don't people like me? And I still go through that same struggle from time to time. And now, most recently, my struggle is the fact I have all these people following me, honey, and they only like cruises. So everything else I make, it's like it's falling on deaf ears. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. So she gets really tired of my emotional roller coaster with YouTube. She is a bit camera shy. She's not here right now. One of these days I'll ask her if she'll talk more in depth about that. But I don't know. She's very reluctant to get on camera. I don't know, she's afraid she'll look stupid or I'll make fun of her, which I understand because that's why most of what I film when she's not home, because even though I know that she could watch it at any time, it's something about the creative process and how crazy I am during making the videos where I don't want her to watch me and think I'm stupid. So I understand her not wanting to look stupid on camera. Nobody wants to do that. But that's basically what you guys said that you wanted me to talk about. If there's something else that you want me to talk about, then let me know. Leave me a comment on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, you know, all of those places. I'm Joe Somebody, and I will see you in the next video.